In this special video, you'll discover why neglecting a simple habit could cost you dearly in the years ahead, particularly after reaching the age of 70. As we delve into this topic, prepare to be surprised by some enlightening revelations. But before we get into the details, I want you to pay close attention to a story that illustrates the profound impact of this habit on one's life. Meet Mr. Harold, a sprightly 70-year-old who has always been the epitome of health and vitality. With a love for hiking and a passion for gardening, he spent his days immersing himself in activities that brought him joy. However, life took a turn when his beloved wife, Margaret, passed away after a long illness. The loss left an indelible mark on Harold's heart, and the once vibrant man found himself grappling with loneliness. In the weeks that followed Margaret's passing, Harold noticed a gradual shift in his daily routine. What had been a lively existence quickly morphed into a monotonous cycle of solitary meals and late-night television. The laughter that once echoed through his home was replaced by an unsettling silence. He began to withdraw from social outings, much to the dismay of his friends, who were eager to include him in their plans. "Come on, Harold, join us for a round of golf this weekend," they would implore. But he would always find an excuse to stay home. As the months rolled by, Harold's health began to decline. He no longer took those invigorating hikes and the garden he once tended with love became overgrown and neglected. A study published by the American Psychological Association revealed that social isolation can significantly impact physical health, leading to conditions such as heart disease and depression. Harold's story was living proof of this correlation, yet he remained oblivious to the consequences of his choices. One day, while flipping through old photo albums, Harold stumbled upon a picture of him and Margaret on their last hiking trip. Together, the sun was shining, and they were both smiling broadly, surrounded by lush greenery. The sight ignited a flicker of nostalgia within him. "We used to have so much fun," he murmured to himself. "What happened to those days?" It was a question that lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken regret. That evening, Harold made a decision. He would reach out to his friends and try to reconnect with the world outside his four walls. Yet, when he dialed the number of his closest friend, Frank, he hesitated. What would he say? "Hello, I've been a hermit for the past few months. Wanna hang out?" The thought felt embarrassing, but he pressed on. "Hey Frank, it's Harold. I was just wondering if you'd like to grab a bite to eat this week." To his surprise, Frank's enthusiasm was palpable. "Of course! I've been worried about you, buddy. Let's do lunch tomorrow." As they sat down to eat at their favorite diner the next day, Harold felt a sense of comfort wash over him. The conversations flowed easily, and he found himself laughing, reminiscing about old times. However, as they delved into deeper topics, Frank broached a subject that made Harold uncomfortable. "You know, Harold, I think you should consider joining a group or a club. It might help get you out more and meet new people." Harold felt a wave of defensiveness surging within him. "I'm fine, Frank. I just need some time to adjust." But deep down, he knew the truth. He was afraid, fearful of stepping outside his comfort zone, fearful of facing a world that felt so foreign without Margaret by his side. Days turned into weeks, and while Harold made a conscious effort to engage with his friends, he still felt something was missing. The lingering sadness hung around him like a shadow, a constant reminder of the love he had lost. One quiet Saturday, he took a walk to the local park, a place he and Margaret had often frequented. As he strolled through the familiar paths, he noticed a group of people gathered around a community notice board.
Curiosity piqued. He approached to see what was happening.
The board was filled with flyers announcing various activities: yoga classes, book clubs, gardening workshops, and more. One flyer caught his eye, an upcoming hiking club meeting. His heart raced. It had been years since he had hiked, but the thought of joining a group of fellow enthusiasts ignited a spark of excitement within him. Yet doubt crept in. What if they don't want someone like me? He thought, feeling a familiar wave of insecurity wash over him. After returning home, Harold wrestled with the idea. He remembered the joy he experienced while hiking with Margaret, the freedom of being outdoors and the exhilaration of reaching the summit. That night, as he lay in bed, he made a promise to himself. "I will at least go to the meeting," he whispered into the darkness. As the day approached, anxiety fluttered in his stomach. What if he was the oldest one there? What if no one talked to him? But he pressed on, donning an old hiking jacket and lacing up his sturdy boots. When he arrived at the meeting spot, he found a small group of individuals gathered, their energy infectious. They were sharing stories, laughter, and a shared love for nature that resonated deeply with Harold. As he introduced himself, a warm welcome enveloped him. "Glad you could join us, Harold," said Sarah, a woman in her late 60s with a bright smile. "We're all about enjoying the outdoors, no matter your experience level." The camaraderie was palpable, and Harold felt a sense of belonging he hadn't experienced in a long time. That first hike was both challenging and exhilarating. As he navigated the trails, surrounded by the beauty of nature, Harold rediscovered his love for the great outdoors. The fresh air filled his lungs, and with every step, he felt more alive. The group was encouraging, cheering him on as they reached the top of a ridge, revealing a breathtaking view that left him speechless. "Look at that," one of the hikers exclaimed. "You can see the entire valley from up here." Harold took a deep breath, soaking it all in, feeling the warmth of the sun on his face and the embrace of community around him. In that moment, he realized that he had been missing out not just on hiking, but on life itself. As the weeks turned into months, Harold became a regular member of the hiking club. He formed friendships, shared stories, and found joy in the simplest of moments, watching the sunrise from the top of a hill, sharing a meal with newfound companions, and laughing freely. His health improved dramatically. He lost weight, regained strength, and felt a renewed sense of purpose. Research indicates that engaging in regular physical activity can add years to one's life, and Harold was living proof of this fact. The loneliness that had once engulfed him began to dissipate, replaced by laughter, connection, and the thrill of adventure. However, one day, as they sat around a campfire after a long day of hiking, a conversation sparked that would change Harold's perspective once again. "You know, we all have our struggles," said Frank, a fellow hiker. "But getting outside and enjoying nature really helps to clear the mind." The words resonated with Harold, igniting a desire to share his own journey. "I lost my wife last year," he began, the words flowing more freely than he had expected. "And for a long time, I felt lost. I didn't realize how much I needed connection until I found this group. You all have brought so much joy back into my life." The response was immediate and heartfelt. "We're glad you're here, Harold. You enrich our group more than you know," someone said. In that moment, Harold understood that vulnerability was not a weakness, but a bridge to deeper connections. As the sun set on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Harold felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had come full circle, rediscovering not just his passion for hiking, but the importance of community and connection. The journey was far from over, but he was no longer traveling it alone. In the days that followed, Harold continued to embrace the lessons he had learned. He started volunteering at a local community garden, meeting new people and contributing to a cause that brought him immense joy. He even began to host small gatherings at his home, inviting friends and fellow hikers over for dinner. The laughter returned, filling the empty spaces of his once quiet home. Yet, while Harold was thriving, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was still more to explore. What was the secret behind the profound transformation he had experienced? As he pondered this, he recalled a quote from the philosopher Aristotle: "Happiness depends upon ourselves." He realized that his happiness had been stifled by isolation, and the simple act of stepping outside, both literally and metaphorically, had opened the door to a world of possibilities. As Harold moved forward, he became an advocate for social engagement among older adults, sharing his story with others who might be struggling as he once had. He volunteered at local senior centers, encouraging those around him to embrace the joys of connection, community, and active living. The very act of reaching out not only enriched his life but inspired others to do the same. In this journey, Harold learned that the habits we form can either lift us or weigh us down. By embracing community, pursuing passions, and maintaining an active lifestyle, he was not just adding years to his life, he was adding life to his years. As he stood atop a hill with his hiking group one bright morning, looking out over the vast landscape, he realized that he had truly found himself again. The vibrant colors of the landscape mirrored the rejuvenation he felt within. Each step he took along the winding trails was no longer just a physical challenge, but a celebration of resilience and hope. The camaraderie he shared with his friends became an essential part of his daily routine, reminding him that life's richness is often found in shared experiences. One particular Saturday, as the group prepared for another hike, Harold noticed a newcomer standing shyly at the edge of the gathering. Her name was Linda, a recently widowed woman in her early 60s, who had come to the hiking club seeking solace in nature, just as he had months before. Harold's heart ached for her, recalling his own journey through grief. "Hey there," he said, approaching her with a warm smile. "I'm Harold. It's my first time hiking with this group too." Linda looked up, her eyes reflecting a mixture of uncertainty and hope. "I'm just not sure if I can keep up," she admitted, biting her lip. Harold chuckled softly, remembering his own apprehension. "Trust me, we go at a pace that works for everyone. Plus, the view at the top makes it all worth it. Just take it one step at a time." Encouraging her with kindness and understanding, he offered a glimpse of the support that had meant so much to him. As they began their hike, Harold took the lead, sharing stories about the trails and the beauty surrounding them. With each step, he could see Linda start to relax, her laughter mingling with the sounds of nature. They stopped frequently to admire wildflowers and listen to birds chirping, allowing a budding friendship to blossom amidst the towering trees. By the time they reached the summit, the sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the valley. Linda looked awestruck, her earlier worries forgotten. "I can't believe I almost didn't come," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "This is beautiful." Harold grinned, feeling a sense of fulfillment as he watched her joy. It's moments like these that remind us how important it is to connect with others and enjoy the world around us. You're not alone in this. That evening, as they shared a meal with the rest of the group, Harold noticed how Linda's laughter blended seamlessly with those around her. The very act of reaching out to someone in need had rekindled his own spirit. It wasn't just about hiking. It was about creating bonds that provided strength and support, helping each other navigate the ups and downs of life. Weeks turned into months, and Harold's life continued to flourish. His dedication to maintaining an active lifestyle, coupled with the friendships he had cultivated, contributed to his overall health and happiness. He learned to savor the small victories, whether it was completing a challenging trail or simply enjoying a cup of coffee with friends. However, not all days were filled with sunshine. As winter approached, Harold faced a new challenge. The cold months brought shorter days and often limited outdoor activities. He found himself feeling slightly disconnected from the vibrant community he had built. It was during one particularly dreary afternoon that he received a call from Sarah, the woman who had welcomed him into the hiking club. "Hey, Harold, how about a potluck dinner this weekend? Let's keep the spirit alive, even if we can't hike," she suggested. The idea instantly brightened his mood. Yes, it was time to bring everyone together, not just on the trails but in their homes as well. As the weekend approached, Harold spent time preparing his favorite dish, a hearty vegetable stew packed with flavors. He arranged his living room, making it cozy with warm lighting and inviting decorations. The laughter of friends filled his home that evening, and as they gathered around the dining table, Harold felt a sense of belonging that warmed his heart more than any stew ever could. Conversations flowed freely, stories were shared, and new friendships were forged over steaming bowls of food. They played games, reminisced about past hikes, and even began planning for the upcoming spring season. It was a reminder that community could thrive in any setting, whether on a mountain trail or within the walls of his home. As the winter months passed, Harold found joy in organizing more gatherings, each one more spirited than the last. Linda became a regular at these events, and as they grew closer, they discovered a mutual passion for cooking. Together, they explored new recipes, experimenting with flavors and sharing culinary successes with their friends. One evening, while preparing a meal, Linda turned to Harold and said, I was really hesitant about joining the hiking group. I didn't think I would fit in, but you showed me that it's okay to take that first step." Her words struck a chord with Harold, reminding him of his own journey from isolation to connection. "You've inspired me too, Linda," he replied, feeling a warmth in his chest. It's not just about the hikes. It's about sharing our lives and experiences. We all have stories that can help each other heal. As spring arrived, the hiking club resumed their outdoor adventures, and with it, a renewed sense of purpose. Harold and Linda took on the responsibility of planning monthly hikes, ensuring that new members felt welcomed and included. They introduced a buddy system, pairing experienced hikers with those who were just starting, fostering an environment where everyone could thrive. One particularly beautiful Saturday, as the group hiked through a blooming forest, Harold felt a surge of gratitude. His heart was full as he observed the laughter and camaraderie among the members. He had come so far since his days of isolation, and he had learned that the bonds formed in the face of adversity could lead to profound joy. As they reached a clearing, the group stopped to take in the view. The vibrant colors of spring enveloped them, reminding Harold of the beauty of life and the importance of nurturing connections. He turned to Linda, who stood beside him, sharing in the awe of the moment. "Look at how far we've come," he said, a smile spreading across his face. "This is what it's all about, embracing life together." Linda nodded, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. And to think it all started with one small step. In that moment, Harold truly understood the significance of the habit he had cultivated, the practice of reaching out, engaging with others, and embracing life to the fullest. It was a lesson he would carry with him, inspiring not only his own journey but the lives of those around him. As summer approached, Harold continued to advocate for the importance of social connections for seniors, sharing his story at local community centers and encouraging others to embrace an active lifestyle. His message resonated with many, and he felt a sense of purpose in helping others discover the joy of connection. The hiking club became a model for similar groups in the area, and Harold found himself at the center of a movement that sought to combat loneliness among older adults. With each new member that joined, he was reminded of his own journey and the power of community in transforming lives. As he reflected on his experiences, Harold realized that life's greatest treasures were not material possessions, but the people we surround ourselves with. The simple act of connecting with others had the potential to bring profound joy and fulfillment, enriching not only his life but the lives of those he touched along the way. In the end, Harold's story became a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, proving that it's never too late to forge new connections, embrace new adventures, and live life to the fullest. As he looked toward the future, he felt hopeful, knowing that the journey was ongoing and that every step taken together was a step toward a richer, more meaningful life to the fullest. As he looked toward the future, he felt hopeful, knowing that the journey was ongoing and that every step taken together was a step toward a richer, more meaningful life. As the seasons changed, Harold often found himself reflecting on the remarkable transformation he had undergone. He had once been a man consumed by grief, confined within the walls of his home, and now he was a vibrant member of a community that thrived on connection and support. With each hike, each gathering, and each new friendship, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, as if he was writing a new chapter in his life story. One crisp autumn day, Harold and his hiking group embarked on a special trek to a nearby mountain known for its breathtaking views and stunning fall foliage. As they ascended the trail, the vibrant reds, oranges, and yellows of the leaves painted a mesmerizing picture, creating a kaleidoscope of color that surrounded them. Harold led the way, feeling invigorated by the fresh air and the camaraderie of his friends. During a break at a scenic overlook, the group settled onto a rocky ledge to enjoy their packed lunches. As they munched on sandwiches and shared stories, Harold looked around at the faces of those he had come to care for deeply. He noticed Linda laughing with a couple of new members, their smiles bright against the backdrop of nature's beauty. It filled his heart with joy to see the friendships blooming just as they had in his own life. "Hey everyone," Harold called out, drawing their attention. "I just wanted to take a moment to say how grateful I am for each of you. This group has changed my life in ways I never thought possible." His voice trembled with emotion, but he pressed on. "When I lost Margaret, I thought I would never find happiness again. But here we are, sharing these moments, and it feels like I have a family again." The group erupted in cheers and applause, the warmth of their support washing over him like a comforting blanket. "We're glad you're here too, Harold," one member shouted. "You inspire us all." In that moment, Harold realized that his journey was not just about his personal healing. It was about creating a ripple effect of connection that extended far beyond himself. He had become a catalyst for change, encouraging others to break free from their own struggles and embrace the power of community. As they resumed their hike, Harold found himself walking alongside a quieter member of the group, an elderly gentleman named George. George had joined the hiking club a few months ago but often kept to himself. Sensing an opportunity to connect, Harold struck up a conversation. "How have you been enjoying the hikes, George?" he asked, genuinely interested. George looked thoughtful for a moment before responding. "Honestly, Harold, it's been a bit tough for me. I lost my wife a couple of years ago, and I wasn't sure if I was ready for this. But being out here with all of you has made a difference." Harold nodded, understanding the weight of George's words. I know how you feel. It can be hard to step out of our comfort zones, especially after a loss. But believe me, you're not alone in this. We're all here for each other." The two men continued to share their stories as they hiked, gradually finding common ground in their experiences of love and loss. Harold listened intently, offering support and encouragement. By the time they reached the summit, George wore a smile that lit up his face, his spirit visibly lifted by their conversation. As they took in the panoramic view from the top, Harold felt a surge of pride. He had not only helped George but had also fostered a sense of belonging. Within the group, each connection formed on the trail was a thread woven into the fabric of their shared journey, creating a tapestry of resilience and hope. In the weeks that followed, Harold continued to advocate for community-building activities, organizing events that brought members together not just for hikes but for shared meals, book clubs, and even movie nights. With each new initiative, he saw the bonds among members deepen, creating an environment where everyone felt seen and heard. One evening, as Harold prepared for a potluck dinner at his home, he reflected on how far he had come. The kitchen was filled with the delicious aroma of his favorite dish, and the table was beautifully set. As guests arrived, laughter and chatter filled the air, transforming his home into a hub of warmth and connection. As they gathered around the table, Harold took a moment to share his gratitude. "Thank you all for being here tonight. It's incredible to see how our little hiking group has grown into such a supportive community. You've each played a role in my journey, and I'm grateful for the friendships we've formed." The evening unfolded with stories, laughter, and the sharing of dishes that represented each member's culture and background. Harold marveled at the diversity within the group, realizing that their differences only enriched their experiences. As the night progressed, they shared heartfelt stories about their lives, their struggles, and the joys they had found in one another's company. Linda stood up, raising her glass for a toast to new beginnings and the friendships that make life worth living. Everyone echoed her sentiment, and Harold felt a profound sense of belonging wash over him. It was a moment of celebration, not just for the food or the gathering, but for the connections that had formed, a testament to the power of vulnerability and reaching out. As winter approached once more, Harold and the group faced the challenge of staying connected. During the colder months, inspired by their previous successes, they decided to host a winter-themed event, complete with hot cocoa, storytelling, and games. The excitement in the air was palpable as they planned the details, each member contributing ideas to make it a memorable occasion. On the day of the winter gathering, Harold's home was transformed into a cozy sanctuary. The fireplace crackled, casting a warm glow as friends arrived bundled in their winter attire. The aroma of fresh baked cookies filled the air, and the laughter of friends echoed through the halls. As they gathered around the fireplace, Harold took a moment to reflect on the journey that had brought them all together. "I never imagined that my life would take such a beautiful turn after losing Margaret. You all have shown me the importance of community, and I'm so grateful for each of you." The group resonated with his words, and as they shared stories and laughter, Harold felt a sense of fulfillment that he had long thought lost. He realized that the connections they had built were not just a remedy for loneliness. They were a source of strength, inspiration, and love. As the night drew to a close, they decided to create a new tradition, a gratitude circle, where each person would share something they were thankful for. One by one, they spoke about the friendships they had formed, the support they had received, and the joy of being part of a community that genuinely cared for one another. When it was Harold's turn, he took a deep breath, his heart swelling with emotion. "I'm thankful for all of you, for reminding me that life is meant to be shared. Together we can face whatever comes our way, and that gives me hope for the future." The circle ended with a feeling of unity and love, a promise that they would continue to support one another through every season of life. As they exchanged hugs and goodbyes, Harold felt a sense of peace wash over him, knowing that he had truly found his place in the world again. Looking ahead, Harold was excited about the possibilities that awaited him and his friends. He envisioned organizing more community events, perhaps even collaborating with local organizations to promote active living and social engagement for seniors. His heart swelled with purpose, knowing that the lessons he had learned could help others navigate their own journeys. As spring approached once again, the hiking club was buzzing with anticipation for the new season. Harold and Linda took the lead in planning a series of hikes that showcased the beauty of the changing landscape. The thrill of exploration and adventure filled the air, igniting a passion within the group that mirrored Harold's own. One sunny Saturday morning, they set out for their first hike of the season, eager to reconnect with nature and each other. As they hiked along the familiar trails, Harold felt a renewed sense of vitality. The vibrant blooms of wildflowers welcomed them, and the sound of birds chirping filled the air with an undeniable sense of joy. At a scenic overlook, the group paused to catch their breath and take in the view. Harold turned to his friends, a smile spreading across his face. "Can you believe how far we've come? Each step we take is a testament to the power of connection and community." Everyone nodded in agreement, their hearts full of gratitude for the journey they were on together. As they continued their hike, Harold felt invigorated not just by the physical activity but by the sense of purpose that came from fostering relationships and embracing life's adventures. In the months that followed, Harold's dedication to promoting social engagement flourished. He partnered with local organizations to host workshops and events aimed at encouraging older adults to step out of their homes and connect with others. The response was overwhelming, with seniors from all walks of life showing interest in joining hiking clubs, book clubs, and community gatherings. Harold's story became a beacon of hope, inspiring others who had faced similar struggles. He often shared his journey with local media, highlighting the importance of community and the simple habits that could enhance the quality of life for seniors. As the seasons continued to change, so did Harold's life. He embraced each moment, knowing that the relationships he had nurtured were the cornerstone of his happiness. He had become a mentor, a friend, and a source of inspiration for those around him. On a warm summer evening, as the sun set on the horizon, Harold bathed in golden light. He found himself surrounded by friends at a summer barbecue. Laughter echoed through the air as the group gathered around the grill, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. The warmth of the setting sun mirrored the warmth in Harold's heart, a feeling of gratitude that he could hardly contain. As they enjoyed grilled vegetables and marinated chicken, Harold took a step back to observe the scene before him. There were new faces among the familiar ones, friends of friends, who had come to experience the joy of community that had blossomed from their hiking adventures. It was a testament to the connections they had forged and the lives they were touching. "Hey, everyone," Harold called out, raising his glass filled with sparkling lemonade. "I just want to take a moment to celebrate what we've built together. From the trails to these gatherings, every step we take strengthens our bond. Here's to friendship, laughter, and the adventures yet to come." Glasses clinked together, and the cheers filled the air, echoing the camaraderie that had become a hallmark of their group. As Harold looked around, he noticed how each person contributed their unique energy to the gathering. There was Sarah, regaling everyone with tales of their most recent hike, and George, sharing his newfound love for photography, capturing the beauty of nature through his lens. Then there was Linda, who had blossomed into a confident and vibrant member of the group. She had taken on the responsibility of organizing the upcoming hiking trips, her enthusiasm infectious. Harold couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in how they had both grown, transforming their experiences of loss into opportunities for connection and joy. As the evening wore on, they decided to gather around the fire pit for a round of storytelling. Each person took turns sharing their favorite hiking memories, the moments that had stayed with them long after they had returned home. Harold listened intently, feeling a sense of fulfillment as he realized how far they had all come together. When it was Harold's turn, he leaned back in his chair, memories flooding his mind. "I'll never forget our hike to the summit last fall. I remember looking out over the valley and thinking how lucky I was to have all of you by my side. That moment reminded me that life's joys are meant to be shared, and that's exactly what we've been doing." The group nodded, some murmuring agreements, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames of the fire. It was a moment of reflection, a chance to appreciate the journey they had taken together, the challenges they had faced, the losses they had endured, and the friendships that had blossomed in the most unexpected of circumstances. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Harold felt a sense of hope and purpose. Their journey was not just about hiking. It was about creating a community where everyone felt valued, supported, and loved. Each person in that circle had a story to tell, and together they had woven a rich tapestry of resilience and connection. In the months that followed, Harold continued to advocate for the importance of social engagement among seniors, participating in community forums and sharing his insights on health and well-being. He discovered that many older adults experience similar feelings of isolation and loneliness, and he was determined to inspire change. He collaborated with local health organizations to create workshops that emphasized the benefits of physical activity and social connections. The response was overwhelming, with seniors from various backgrounds coming together to learn about the power of community in enhancing their quality of life. Harold found himself at the forefront of a movement, empowering others to take charge of their well-being and seek out connections that enriched their lives. As summer faded into autumn once again, Harold and his friends planned a special hiking trip to commemorate their journey. It would be a celebration of the friendships they had built and the lives they had impacted along the way. Excitement buzzed in the air as they prepared for the adventure, each member contributing ideas and suggestions, demonstrating the strong sense of community they had cultivated. On the day of the hike, the weather was perfect, a crisp, clear day with the sun shining brightly. As they set out on the familiar trail, Harold felt a wave of nostalgia wash over him. He remembered the early days of his journey, the moments of doubt, and the fear that had once held him back. Now, surrounded by friends, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. As they reached their destination, a breathtaking overlook that showcased the vibrant colors of autumn, Harold paused to take it all in. The laughter and excitement of his friends rang in his ears, a reminder of the beauty of connection. He turned to the group, his heart swelling with gratitude. "Look at this view," he said, gesturing to the breathtaking landscape. "But more importantly, look at each other. This is what life is all about, sharing these moments, supporting one another, and creating memories that last a lifetime." Cheers erupted from the group, and they gathered together for a photo, capturing the essence of their journey. Harold felt a sense of fulfillment that he had never experienced before. He had come full circle, transforming his pain into purpose and his isolation into connection. As they made their way back down the trail, Harold knew that this was just the beginning. The friendships he had formed were not just fleeting connections. They were a foundation for a lifetime of shared experiences and support.
He was committed to continuing the work they had started, advocating for the importance of community and the simple habit of reaching out to others.
In the months that followed, Harold's influence grew,
His story
became a beacon of hope for many, inspiring others to embrace life and seek out connections that enriched their existence. He organized events that brought seniors together, not just for hikes, but for a variety of activities that encouraged social engagement and physical activity. As he looked ahead, Harold felt a sense of excitement for the future. The journey he had embarked upon was far from over. It was evolving into something greater, an opportunity to create lasting change in the lives of those around him. He envisioned a world where every senior felt valued, supported, and connected. In the years that followed, Harold's legacy continued to flourish. The hiking club expanded, introducing new members who brought fresh perspectives and stories to the group. With each new face, Harold felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that he was playing a part in their journey toward connection and fulfillment. As he stood at the summit of a mountain one bright morning, surrounded by friends, Harold looked out at the vast landscape before him. He felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey he had taken and the connections he had fostered. Life was not just about the years we accumulate. It was about the memories we create, the friendships we cultivate, and the love we share. And in that moment, as he breathed in the crisp mountain air, Harold knew that he had chosen the right path. By embracing the simple habit of reaching out and connecting with others, he had not only transformed his own life, but he had also become a catalyst for change in the lives of countless individuals around him. The journey was ongoing, and Harold was determined to continue inspiring others to embrace the beauty of connection and the joy of living life to the fullest. Each step they took together was a testament to resilience, hope, and the power of community. With every hike, every gathering, and every shared moment, they were not just adding years to their lives. They were adding life to their years.